Hello. Hello, Priya. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine. How are you?
Yes, yes, I'm good too. Priya, can you turn on your camera and show me the ID card, please?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So, verification is done. Priya, can you tell me about yourself?
Yes. My name is Priya, and I have around 7 years of experience in software development. I have majorly worked on Java and related frameworks like Spring, MVC, and Spring Boot. I have worked on end-to-end project development and legacy project modernization. I have worked on building REST APIs and handling production issues and improving the performance. I also have experience in Kafka, messaging services, Redis, and all the distributed systems related technology. And currently, I am looking for a work on scalable system and take more ownership.
Okay. Can you explain your current project?
We follow microservices architecture where each service handles a specific functionality, and we are using Spring Boot and Java 17 to build these microservices. For REST communication, we are using OpenPain, and for asynchronous communication, we use Kafka. And our application is hosted on AWS, where we have multiple EC2 instances, which makes sure that our application is highly available.
Okay. So, can you tell me about your roles and responsibilities in your project?
I participate in sprint planning, where we distribute the task and that which task we are doing in current sprint. And based on that business requirement, I build the REST APIs. And for the production issues, I make sure that I give the permanent closure of the uh, issues. Also, if any team members needs any help, I do help them and ensure that our project meets the SLA, and we deliver our project timely.
Okay. So, how much years of experience you have in microservices?
I have around 5 years of experience in microservices.
Good. So tell me one thing that if any of the microservices goes down, uh, what will your approach?
If synchronous calls will fail, then we can use the retries and timeouts. Also, we can send fallback responses, the default responses, if any of the service is down. And we can use the circuit breaker pattern with resilience 4J to make our system fault tolerant and to handle this kind of failure peacefully so that it doesn't make the cascade failures. And for asynchronous communication, we can use the massive brokers like Kafka or RabbitMQ. So the services can produce the events, and when the downstream service is up, then they can consume those messages and proceed further.
Okay. So you explain that how you have built and how microservices called.
So we have both the approach, synchronous and asynchronous. In synchronous communication, it waits for the response from the other microservices. So if once a microservice has called the another, it will wait for the response from that service, and then it can start proceeding further, and that is the synchronous call. And we can do it using the Pain client or REST template. For Fin client, we can add the open Fin dependence inside our project and enable Fin client to communicate the microservices. And for asynchronous communication, we can use the message brokers like Kafka and RabbitMQ, where each service publish the event and it doesn't wait for the other service to respond immediately. It can proceed further once after publishing events. So other services will consume those messages, and based on that, they will take action upon it. So that's how we do synchronous communication.
So what is the difference with concurrent hashmap?
Hashmap and concurrent hashmap both are used in Java to store the key value pairs, but the difference is thread safety. Hashmap is not thread safe, so concurrent operations will throw exception, that concurrent modification exception. So we cannot use the hashmap for the concurrent task. So it is not useful for the multi-threaded environment, and that's why we have the concurrent hash map. So multiple threads can work parallelly inside concurrent hash map. So it doesn't block the entire map, and we can perform the operations parallelly. And another difference is that in hash map we have one null key and multiple null values, but in concurrent hash map, any null value or case doesn't allow.
Okay. So what is immutable?
Immutable class is a class whose state cannot be changed once after it's created. So if we try to make any modification, it will create a new object for that, but the original reference will not change. And classic example of immutable class in Java is string. So when we create, when we modify anything into a string, it will create a new object for that, and the reference will be the original string will be not changed.
Okay. What is equals and hash code and how it works in hashmap?
So in hash map, based on the hash code, the bucket will be decided that in which bucket this key value pair will be stored. So whenever we try to add any key value pair in the hash map, so based on the key, it will first calculate the hash code with the use of hash code method, and based on that, it will check that okay, which bucket it will goes, and uh, once we try to add any new value, the, the equals will be checked that which node it will store.
I think your answer is not formatted. I mean, can you tell me that how hashmap works internally?
Okay. So whenever we call a port method, first of all, key hash code of the key will be calculated, and based on that, the bucket will be decided. If that bucket has already an element, then it will compare using the equals method that okay whether these keys are same or not. If the keys are same, that is the hash collision, and uh, it will be solved using the red black tree. that whether the this value needs to be updated or a new need to be added. So that's how the hash code and equals method works parallelly.
Okay. So tell me one thing that if yeah, in a multi-threaded environment, multiple threads are trying to share the same resources, then how you will ensure that changes done by the one thread, it is visible to the other threads immediately. So if one thread has changed the value of the x variable as a time, so how you will ensure that other variables at the same time accessing that value, it's still the same value.
So we can do this using the volatile keyword. So volatile keyword in Java is used to ensure the data visibility. So because it directly reads data from the main memory and not from the stack memory. So that any of the changes done by the threads, it will be immediately visible to the other threads.
Okay. So in your microservices system, if API response is increased, suppose to 3 seconds to 5 seconds in the production environment. So, what's wrong with that? You haven't deployed any code. There is no change you have done, or not from members. What would be the reason and how can you solve that?
So if any microservices were working perfectly fine earlier, and now the level has increased, I will going to check the monitor logs. I will check the addresses that okay, and which microservice is taking the maximum time, and based on that, I will check the application logs accordingly, and from that, I can have the idea that whether the query is taking much time to respond, or maybe there is a third party calls involved inside of an API. The connection between is taking time or not. So based on that, I can get the idea that okay, what is wrong with the issue, and how can we solve that.
No, you haven't said that. How can we solve that? You told that, okay, that's how we can identify. But suppose you have identified that okay, database query is taking much time. So what you will do?
So if there are any slow queries or from the database at taking time, I will make sure that okay, we have a proper caching layer involved, so that not every call goes to the database to get information. So deep database should not be overheaded, and we use the Redis cache for that, for the distributed system. And for the queries part, I will check that okay, there are proper indexing done or not. So based on that, we can have the read queries optimization. Also, we can have the multiple read replicas of our database, so that our main DB can don't get overloaded. Apart from that, yes, we can also check the DB connection pool is properly utilized or not. So we are using Hikari pool. So based on that, we'll check that whether the connection pool is proper or not. There is no memory leak involved, and the DB connections are returning to the pool properly once after its usage. So in Spring Boot, it is automatically done, but if any of the manual configuration has added, we need to make sure that we have closed them properly.
Okay. So how do you prevent the cascading failures?
Cascading failures, we can we can solve it using the circuit breaker pattern with using the resilience force. Okay, so give me the steps that how to actually do the circuit board. So for resilience purge, we need to have the external dependency inside the system, inside our pom.xml, and on the APIs we need to enable circuit breaker, and we should pass the name and the fallback responses, and and we need to define a method for that to provide a fallback method. And for the circuit breaker, we have the three states: open, closed, and half open. Open means that, closed means that where microservices are working fine, everything is running properly. If one of the services down and sending, it is down and not able to send a proper response during the defined timeline, we will mark that service as a down, and the circuit will be that will go to the open state. And after a defined period of time, we will pass a few of the requests to that and okay, now it is giving response or not. If it is proper response, then we will mark it as a close, and if it is not, then it will be again into the open state. So that is how the circuit breaker works internally. Okay. So can you check your code? Can you? I hope you have worked in Java 8, right? Yeah, in your project you have used the Java Server, so I hope you have idea on these streams. Yes, I have. Okay. So can you tell me what will be the output of this code? Okay. So it will print ABC. ABC. Yes. So what? So can you explain that what this code does? So this code is written using the Java 8, using the stream API, where we have the functions like distinct and for each. Distinct will uh, eliminate the uh, duplicates from this list, and for each will iterate this list, and the system dot out dot print will print these unique elements from this list. So this is the method reference they have used. So in the system class, we the out is the object and print is the method. So this is the method reference which we have used over here. Okay. So yeah, first you have the input of this question over the inside chat. Yes.
Sure, space is that
Sorry.
the space. We have entered the space, right? So the, the
No, actually, it will be ABC only. I just
okay, fine. Problem. Yeah. Can you guess the output of this question? This code?
this will print the elements in the descending order.
How? And why in the design order?
So we have used the sorted function over here, and we have these parameters, and here we have the reverse the parameters. So in the reverse order, it will print. So that will be 8521. So that will be the answer.
Okay. So can you check your screen? Yes.
Okay, go to no.
Go to Notepad. Now write a program to find the duplicate elements from the list. Okay. Yeah. Open your chat and paste the question. You can copy it into.
So it is using Java 8, or I can write it normally.
It's up to you. It's such mark for this. You can use any of the approach. Done.
Yes, done. Okay. So can you explain your logic? So, as we have the list of the integer elements, set is the set is something that set is the collection which doesn't allow the duplicates. So we have created one set to hold the unique elements, and for the duplicate ones, we have created another set. So any of the duplicate elements will be stored over here. So we have iterator list, and this set dot add is will be false if the set is already have the element. So that means inside that list that is the duplicate element, and hence we have I have added it into duplicate set. So that's how it will return the duplicate elements from the list.
Yeah, just paste these code inside the chat.